In the 90s, there were not many shopping malls in the heartland area, and Orchard Road was one of the very few handouts for families and couples to shop around the area. And we know that Orchard Road gives that atas vibe back in the days. Before we head on to memory lane, you know what to do? Hit the like and subscribe button. In the 90s, there were not many MRT lines as compared to now. And one of the most popular MRT lines at the time is Orchard Road MRT. As families and couples like Orchard Road MRT and walk along the side road of street, these two shopping malls that can't be missed and will go in and chill, and are still holding much prominent presence today. So have you guessed correctly which are two OG malls? That's right, it's Wisma Atria at Ngee City, which is managed by Starhill Global REIT under YTL Corporation. As usual, this is not financial advice, and please do your due diligence as REITs are getting volatile lately. The core markets in Starhill are in Singapore, Malaysia, and Australia, with assets portfolio of Singapore dollars 2.8 billion and a combined market capitalization of US 5.7 billion. Well, the revenue and net property income is nothing to speak about, as we see for the increase in financial year 2022/2023 compared to financial year 2021/2022 is insignificant, with DPU remains flat. However, the saving grace is amid such environment, the DPU is able to sustain for the past 2 years. We want to find out why the DPU has remained stagnant for Starhill Global to shout out any concerns. There are basically two changes that caught the attention in fair value of derivatives instruments and investment properties, which caused the total return to decrease in 2022 compared to 2021. Hence, we want to know which are the properties that are affecting the overall performance of Starhill REIT. From here, we could see the overall drop in performance are from Australia and Japan and China properties grouped under others. While the decrease percentage is bigger under others, the bigger decrease in actual figures are from Australia for both revenue and property income. For the past 1 year, we could see that the Aussie dollar has weakened against Sing dollars and also the lower rental received, although there are higher rental received from near centre from Adelaide, which offset the overall rental income. Things also do not look positive, as in the first quarter 2023, there are news of major tenant Myer Centre pulling out from Starhill due to alleged lease breach matter. Under others, the decrease in both revenue and net property income will due to depreciation of the Japan yen dollar and Chinese renminbi, with higher rental assistance to China property during the COVID lockdown and divestment of Dakayama, which the proceeds are mainly used to prepay the borrowings. Portfolio asset value-wise, Starhill Global REIT stands at 70% local with nearly 30% overseas presence, with nearly 40% of revenue attributing from the overseas properties. In my opinion, there is very much exposure to foreign exchange risk in this case, and hence that explains on the earlier decrease in the change of fair value derivatives instrument used to hedge. Topping on the negative news of Myer Centre pulling out from Starhill, Fitch has downgraded Starhill to BBB corporate rating. As quote from Fitch, if the arbitration is concluded in favour of Myer, there is potential for negative rating action, as it could result in a revenue loss of about 7.4% for SG REIT, including about 6 months to a year of downtime before replacement tenant starts to contribute to rent, pressuring the trust credit metrics. SG REIT states that the arbitration process is at an early stage and could take longer than 12 months to conclude unless settled through other means. We expect to resolve the rating watch negative upon the conclusion of the arbitration, which may take more than 6 months. Hence, from what we can see for the April report, the resolution is likely to take at least 6 months to resolve or conclude. Is all lost for Starhill Global REIT? The gearing ratio for Starhill Global REIT stands at 36.7%, one of the lowest amongst the retail and commercial REIT, with almost no near-term debt maturing in 2024. The borrowing stands at 84% fixed and hedged with interest rate swap. As we can see, most of the debt maturity will be on 2025 onwards, and if the interest rate environment were to reduce by then, such interest rate swaps could be utilized to further reduce the interest rate exposure. This is important to Starhill Global REIT, as 40% of the revenue comes from overseas when foreign exchange is closely associated. For DPU-wise, My opinion is that the impact of interest rate will be minimal as illustrated for the unhedged borrowings. The impact would be 0.08 cents per annum for 1% rate hike. The impact will be even lower for the fixed and hedged borrowings. With this wise, Starhill Global REIT has able to establish themselves with one of the longest lease expiry profile with weighted average lease expiry of 6.5 years by net lettable area. For Starhill Global REIT, the moving forward concern would be on its foreign currency exposure, as near 40% of its revenue are from overseas, and also the potential pull-out of its major tenant in Australia, which will take at least 6 months to resolve. If the pull-out will be of the case, then revenue and property income will likely be affected, which DPU may likely be affected from 2024 onwards. Or else, the distribution is likely to remain flat for 2023. Based on the current price of about 49 cents with 3.8 cents of distribution in 2022, the dividend yield for Starhill Global is around 7.8%. I think not many people have done analysis on Starhill Global REIT. I've shared my views on Starhill and I've shared on it, which was purchased during COVID. With current situation, I will not be further adding on as the capital recovery portion seems to be limited. For dividend wise, it looks neutral as the distribution will seems to be flat again for this year too, as similar in the past 2 years. Once again, this is not a financial advice to buy or sell and purely for education purposes only. Please do your due diligence. Do like and subscribe if you find this information helpful, and see you. Adios.